This jig is going to rectify that problem and make the process go a lot quicker. And the best thing about it is there's no screwing, there's no bolts. This is an absolutely momentous occasion. This is one for the books, this is. Right, so we're on to the next phase of the process, which is installing this Mortise Lock. Now what I've done is I've bought this lock jig made by Trent, bought it off Amazon, probably, I think it was just under 70 quid. Great bit of kit. The reason I did this is because it's a composite door, which means it's got a solid oak veneer. And then they described it as a reconstituted fibre board, which is basically a posh way of saying MDF. But I found it's had a really, really high glue content, and it hasn't been good to drill or chisel. So this is why this jig is going to rectify that problem and make the process go a lot quicker, because the usual way that you do it is with a spade bit, drill and chisel. But like I say, I've chiseled this product and it's just not a great thing to do. I'm just gonna use it and see how it does, and see what the finish is like, and just give you my opinion on it. So let's see how this goes. All right. Okay, so far so good. We're not quite down to depth yet, but what I'm going to do is just going to take a couple of minutes just to give the mortise a bit of a clear out, because we're quite clogged up with dust now and I don't want that to get in the way of the cutter. So just going to spend 2 minutes vacuuming this out just to see exactly where I am and how much deeper I need to go. Really pleased with the result of this. Normally to do one of these, it probably takes you between 25 to 35 minutes to get your spade bit, stitch drill all this out, then go through it with a chisel, make sure you're down to depth, offer it up. Obviously, once again, I said I had the issue with the material that it's made of, but this has just made such light work of it. I've probably had to go 5 different passes on it, and it's just gone so well. Really pleased with it. As you can see, the slot's nice and neat. Just offer it in. It's absolutely bang on, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm happy with the position of that. I might need to adjust the jig. I'm hoping I won't have to, but I just want to offer it up. As any good carpenter will say, it's always best to measure twice, cut once, and I'm going to use the same principle when I'm setting this jig up. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm happy with the position. Another thing I like about this jig, you've got all these different plates. There's 12 different face plates and 4 different mortise plates, all different sizes to take whatever mortise lock you're going to need. And the best thing about it is there's no screwing, there's no bolts. All it is a case of getting your plate and slotting it in. It's held in place with magnets and it's a mil perfect fit. So once again, another thing that I like about this, it's been really well thought out. So nice one, Trent. Now I'm going to wrap the faceplate in and we're going to see how that goes. Now this is when you come to set the depth on your faceplate. Really like this idea. All you do is take your router, lower it onto the face of your material so it's just touching. Then all you do, unlock your depth gauge, take it away and just lower it. Now the distance between these 2 stops is the thickness of this. So I know that when I push down on my router, it's going to stop exactly bang on the right depth. So once again, just another little trick. Obviously, like I say, this is the first time I've used it, so there's obviously going to be a learning curve. So I'm going to give that a go and see how it turns out. Let's get to it. Right, so this is all routed out, just squared the corners up as you can see. Now I'm just going to offer it up and see how it fits. Absolutely lovely fit. I'm really pleased with the results. As far as speed and finish of the product's been, absolutely thrilled with it. So next stage, just going to square this line down and get my hole drilled for the door handle and the lock. This will be ready to go and fit, and then it's on to putting the keep on the frame. Beautiful. So next stage obviously is get the door back on. We can start fitting the door keep. So just quickly screw this back on and I'll be back with you. Look at this, look. For the first time ever in recorded history, someone else has taken the door off and they haven't lost the screws. This is an absolutely momentous occasion. This is one for the books, this is. So well done to whoever did this. Well, that goes out to you. Mark where the lock and the close is going to go, so put a pencil mark there, pencil mark there, pencil mark there, and a pencil mark there. That's just going to give me an idea of the height the keep needs to sit. Transfer the lines over to this side, and what I do is I make sure that both of these are going to be able to open within this opening here. So there you go, I've got my height now, top and bottom. Got that all nice and marked out now, so let's get to chiselling out. These chisels are ones that I got from a car boot sale, no joke. For the whole set I probably paid about a tenner for them. The wrong reason I did like this is because the handles weren't too battered, because you get a lot of them and they're all mushroomed over and what have you, but these were pretty good. I mean, they're not great on the length. I mean, usually, obviously when they were new they were like that, so we've seen a bit of time, but like I say, for the sake of spending a quarter as much on something that's probably 10 times better, it's a no-brainer, isn't it, really? And also, you know, you're reusing and recycling, aren't you, rather than, you know, getting something recycled that's been melted down and God knows what else. So the carbon footprint on these is going to be a lot less than what it is on a pair of new ones, and like I say, they're just better quality, but you know, there's probably a higher carbon content, and these are probably made by a blacksmith, handmade, so. Right, so we're on to the next process, which is fitting the door handle and the return lock. First thing I like to do is get my stem, and what I do is I offer it up to the door, and just by eye, I equalise it to make sure that I've got an equal amount sticking out each side. This is just something I do by eye. It doesn't have to be mil perfect, but this is just a practice that I like to do. Then all I do is take my edge, mark it with a pencil. Always make sure this is where the grub screw goes in, and you always want that facing downwards so that it's not visible to the eye. And then what I do is I tighten up this side, just nip it up, and always take your time. Now don't ever be tempted to rush this, because sometimes you can end up scuffing the door. I mean, obviously, because this is stained, this is going to be oiled and not painted, you have to be double careful, so just take your time with it. Then you take your other side, just give it a couple of turns to start it off so the thing doesn't fall out when you start messing around with it. Then put it on. Always try and clamp it together with your hands, just that little bit of extra pressure just means you get a nice tight fit. Just nice and easy, don't be tempted to rush. Turn it over so you've got a little bit more leverage. Take your first screw. I've already pilot drilled this, which is recommended, but these are also self-tapping screws, so you don't have to, but once again, it's just one of those things that's good practice. That's lovely. So that closes nice in the hole, so now it's time to put our lock on. It's another grub screw system, so it'll be the exact same principle as what we've just done. Just see where we are with that. To mirror the one that's been done downstairs, the screws are going to go at 90 degrees. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this, but yeah, that's the way it's been done, so I'm just going to duplicate what's already been done. Take my grub screw, nylon washer goes on, just to reduce friction so that it turns nice and easy. Clamp it with my fingers, and then just nice and easy. One final turn, just to make sure that it's secure, and that's where I want it to be. So the last thing to do, screw my faceplate on. And what I like to do is just spend a bit of time just looking at it, just slight little adjustments until you know it's just right. Always test it every time you do it, because you want to make sure that there's nothing binding, and just make sure that you're in the bang on the right position. So that's still looking good, so that's nice. Do the other side, and then that's the handles and the lock completed. to start on the next part of the process, which is the slamming strip. Okay, so now it's time for the architrave. So this is the final leg of the journey, if you like.